Today's rum tasting, I have a twofer because I'm going to the Dominican Republic and I'm looking at both of the Imperials, the normal one and the Onyx. Welcome back, Rum Gang. Now, Barceló. This has been, those loyal followers will know that this is kind of a rum. Basically, this all started recently because it was the brand new dark rum was actually kind of part of the Craft Rum Club and the lives that I do once a month for the Craft Rum Club. I've had, as you can see, these two Barcelos ever since kind of, you know, when I niched into rum 18 months ago. They were two that kind of been touted around. I got them. I was never, at the very start of my journey, I was never kind of overly impressed with them. And I didn't know what direction I was going with the rum journey. And they just kind of sat there until really that came along. And now, you know, tasting that, when it was announced for the Craft Rum Club, or when I knew that I was getting it, I was kind of, okay, yeah, you know, woo, that sort of thing. I flipping loved it. I think that is a banging dark rum. Absolutely gorgeous dark rum. So off the back of the live stream, where we were kind of chatting about it, and I'll link to that in the description below, if you haven't watched that now. There's a little bit of information in there, but not a huge amount of information. It's kind of, with these distilleries, and Flor de Carne last week was another one, you don't really get too much information unless you go there and see it for yourself, if you know what I mean. So, all I can really tell you about Barceló, Dominican Republic, Domrep, sugar cane juice rum, not molasses. So it's the basically grown, so rum distilled from sugar cane juice. Don't think like agricole. Agricole has its own kind of GI and stuff like that. So different things have to happen. So do not think you're going to get those inherent sort of agricole vibes off this. You are not. But it is also very slightly different to a molasses rum. So Domrep, Spanish style, column still, but for the majority of these, they are actually under 40%. The dark is 37.5%. I've got these two here because this is now rebranded. Hopefully they're on screen. We've got the Platino, which is it the Platino? What's it called now? The Blanco, which was the Platinum. Both of those 37.5%. And we've got the Grand Añejo, which is also 37.5%. But I think I don't think it's been rebranded. I think it's just got a different label, if you know. I don't think it's changed its name. So we've got that, the dark. But then we're talking today about these Imperials, and these are the next ones up in the range. And I think both of these are 38% ABV. Because I was kind of interested. I was like, well, if that's that good, what are these like? Now, price-wise, let me just have a quick, sorry, I've got the wrong screen up here. Oh, no, I haven't. I've got them there, right there on there. Price-wise, 36, logged out, Master of Malt. 37, say £37. They're 3 pence shy of £37 and £32. So there's about a fiver in between them. Just to give you some point of reference, 20, I can't see what that is now. Let's go for that. The Gran Añejo, £24. The dark is not listed yet, and the Blanco's £25. All right. The dark will be available very soon, but price-wise, I don't know. So, you know, when we're talking £25 for that, 32 and £37, sort of a great step up, but not a huge step up. Now, the only other bits of knowledge I can give you about these, they don't have an age statement on them. Round of applause for that. There's no numbers to kind of lead you down a garden path, but what they do say is rum's aged up to 10 years old. So what that means is the oldest rum in this will be a 10-year-old, but there may be a year, 2-year, 3-year-old rum in there. So it's just rums up to 10-year-olds. So don't think of that as a 10-year-old rum, either of those. They're not. You know, we always think of rums, the youngest rum in that classifies the age. So when there's no age statement on a bottle, you're naturally assuming there's a very young rum in that to make up the blend. But don't think of that as a bad thing, because as you'll find out, I really do enjoy these. The only difference, so the difference between these two is that they are both aged up to 10 years. I'm assuming a very similar blend of rums. I'm assuming, again, no knowledge to have about that. The difference is this is aged or finished in heavily charred barrels and then filtered through onyx stones. So as far as I'm aware, and this may be wrong, but as far as I'm aware, that is the same base rum. It's just aged. These are aged in oak barrels. These are aged in heavily charred barrels and then filtered through onyx stones. So diving into the aroma of the normal Imperial to start off with. Column still, yes, on the nose. I don't think, you know, I think even sort of 6 to 8 months into my journey, I could smell the difference between a pot and column. I think, you know, it's all very well sitting here and saying now, I think I could, you know, take that with a pinch of salt. But for me, smelling, it doesn't smell like I would a blend of pot from like Jamaica or Barbados or something like that. Smells lighter, more refreshing, more crisper, fruitier notes on it. I would say the emphasis is on the fruit over wood aging. It's definitely a vanilla influence in there, but the fruit I get is the dried fruits in there. Maybe a bit of like orange peel, lime peel, what are they called in the UK? You get that, there's the mixed peel when for making cakes and stuff like that. Mixed, I think it's just called mixed peel. That sort of sweet vibe thing going on. I kind of get that on the nose. There is just a touch of, I'm going to go posh, astringents. I don't know where that just popped. I was going to go glue. And as soon as I thought of glue, I was going, oh, there's a posh word for that, astringent. But yeah, glue. Just a touch of that sort of gluey vibe to it. But I think more it's like dried fruits and stuff like that. It's very inviting. It's my kind of rum. I like these kind of rums. How does it differ from molasses rum? I think this is a tough one. Inherently, I don't think, if you put this in front of me, I don't think I would be able to go, oh yeah, sugarcane juice over molasses. I don't think I would do on the nose. There is something different about it. It doesn't smell as heavy or anything like that, but I'm putting that down more to the type of still, the column still. It smells like a lighter style of rum. So I'm not overly convinced that I would take this as sugarcane juice over molasses on there. It just smells different. That's all I can say. Now, on the taste. Oh, when I first cracked this a few weeks ago, I was like, oh my God, that's good. That is right up my street. Unmistakable for me, sitting here with all these rums at my disposal that I can compare, unmistakable to me, column still. It's light, it's fresh, it's crisp, it's kind of floral, it's fruity notes, it's kind of tropical notes. There's pineapple going on in there. There's dried fruits going in there. There's buttery notes. There's kind of vanilla notes. They're just bouncing around all over the place. Second visit, I kind of get, I'm going to go mocha because I get chocolate and coffee, but it's this weird thing that I can't explain. Sometimes I get chocolate and coffee, and sometimes I smell mocha, like the coffee. We used to call them espresso chocks in a couple of bars. I don't know why, but they're just mochas. It kind of reminds me of a mocha coffee as opposed to chocolate and coffee, which is, I know that sounds bizarre, but that's what it reminds me of. Kind of got this mocha kind of thing going on. But there's also this sort of red fruit thing going on. Now, not strawberry, not raspberry. So the only thing I can put in my head is kind of like a cherry vibe. It's like this juicy, intense red fruit that is not strawberry or maybe, well, no, it's not plum. I'm going to go cherry on that. But it's delicious. 38% ABV. You're not going to mistake it for a 42, 44, 46%. But it has got a little bit of kind of healthy kick to it. The only thing I will say against it is the finish, because of the ABV, the finish is a little bit thin and a little bit short. You know, it doesn't sit on the back of your throat for like 2 or 3 minutes and you think, oh, I have really enjoyed that. It's like you need to sip it again to get that taste. It's that kind of finish to it. But I really like it. I really do like it. Again, we don't know about the dosage level, but the one thing I will say is I do think these are sweeter than the Flor de Carne that I featured last week. And that might be purely because of the ABV, because the ABV is actually less. You know, we're even though it's 38 compared to 40%, it might simply because of that, it might make it easier to drink. It's not like it's cloyingly sweet. it's something in me that thinks it is sweeter than the Flor de Cañas, but this has gone from like absolute obscurity to me for not even contemplating buying it to where has this been for the last 18 months? This is the epitome for me of a session rum. Put that down in front of me with a group of friends, give us a couple of glasses, I'm just pouring that and drinking. You know, that is lovely. Yes, it'd probably make a great, I haven't even tried it with mixers, I'll be brutally honest. I don't care about Coke or ginger or anything like that. I'm just absolutely happy as Larry sipping that neat. So then where does the Onyx come into it then? Let's just move that to one side. How is it different? If it is, as I'm to believe, the same base rum, just aged it slightly differently, how is it different? It is evident on the nose straight away. It's kind of dark. Smelling that on the nose, that's like, if I'm blind, that's dark rum. It's kind of those chocolate, those coffee notes, the char level on it. But there's also a little bit of extra or different fruit, I should say. Weirdly, and I wouldn't expect to get it off this rum at all, but weirdly, I'm getting coconut, a little bit of coconut on that. But it's just those notes in there that you'd expect to get off a dark rum, the coffee, the chocolate, the oaky notes, the kind of vanilla and all that. There is a fruity on there. It's just different. It's just a different vibe coming off there. There's something that really reminds me of, and I haven't, still, after a couple of weeks, I haven't put my finger on it yet. Now, tasting, completely and utterly different to the normal Imperial. My kind of rum. But this is the weird thing. I don't see this, and at what, 37 pounds, I don't see this as a mixing rum, but this is weird. This is weird. This is everything I kind of want in a dark rum, except for a slightly higher ABV. But this is lovely, velvety smooth. Again, because of the ABV, again, there might be a little bit of dosage in there, a little bit of sugar. Not overly sweet. Let's go midpoint. Out of 20, I'm going 10. So most spiced rums and your Bumbu, Don Papa, Diplomatico are going to be way up in the high teens. You know, this is certainly a lot sweeter than your Jamaican rums, your Barbados rums, anything like that. Even the Santiago de Cuba and stuff like that. It's a lot. And Flor de Caña is a little bit sweeter than those, but it's not overly sweet. And I would say, taste it. I would say this is actually, bear with me here, this is actually more rounded than what that is. That one, because the fruitier notes punch out, it's, I wouldn't call it sort of rounded. It's like, it's more fruity. There is the wood aging to it and a little bit of spice, but not overly much. So that is kind of fruit dominated. Whereas this, you kind of get, you can't miss the char. You cannot miss the char on that. It's got the vanilla. It's got a little bit of spice. It's, even though it's the same ABV, it tastes stronger. You know, and I'm half thinking like the thing that's kind of reminded me of. I'm clutching here. I don't think it is that, but it's called, in the UK we call it like not an eaten mess. What's the word? I can't think what it's called now. Creme. It's not even a creme brulee. I can't think. It's kind of like you've got this really kind of hard layer of burnt sugar on top of a dessert, and you kind of have to crack it with a spoon. I can't for the life of me think what it's called, but it's that taste of that solid burnt sugar. Kind of chefs do it, they kind of get the Bunsen burners out or the flames and all that and just caramelise the top of the, what the hell, I can't think what that dessert is. Pop it in the comments below what the flipping hell that dessert is. But chefs, you kind of crack it and you bite into it and it's like this solid caramelised burnt sugar on top. That's kind of what I'm getting off there, but with the chocolate, with the coffee, with the sort of, I think, dark cherry note coming to it. It's flipping delicious. So where do I sit with these two rums? Look, take my word from it. They are, I mean, that's good. That is really, really good. Different use to that. I'm quite happy sipping that neat. I'm quite happy sipping that neat, but that is a great mixer rum. I cannot wait to see the price of that when it comes out. The Grand Añejo, again, I need to kind of revisit that and give it more love. But do you know what? For £32, that's, and compared to £25, I will revisit that. I will kind of do that and give my thoughts on that at a separate time. But for the price, sorry, I'm putting my hands in front of my microphone there. For the price, I am really, really impressed by those. I enjoy those more. I'm just going to say it, but I need to caveat this and be brutally honest. I do love and adore lighter column still rums. I am. They're just so easy for me to drink. And that's kind of, and I need to preface that as well. So what I was going to say, I'm skirting around the issue. I enjoy drinking these more than I do the Dawley's 12, the Dawley's 14, the Eldorado 12, the Eldorado 15. I enjoy drinking these more than that, but I need to preface it by saying that I am a column still fanboy. I do like column still. Whether that sugarcane juice plays into that as well, I don't know. I'm not overly sure. I don't say these are the best examples of juice versus molasses. They are a great example, but as far as comparing side by side, I don't know. But, you know, I do like stuff like the multi-country blends where you have got a little bit of other stuff going on and they're not as heavy as, so like Black Top, for instance. So like Lost Years in there, you know, where they're not as heavy as an out-and-out sort of DDL rum or a Four Square rum or something like that. I really do like them. And I would love to hear your opinions on these two as well. If you're a fan, if you like them, if you've got them, let us know. Help the rest of the community out. What do you think?